Always great catching up with my next guest, Ricky Bandejas, who is back in action, going to be taking on Leandro Higo coming up here at Bellator 249 on October 15th. Ricky, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Always a thing we do here before your fights, doing these interviews. I got to ask, though, you're in the car right now. Did you finish training, or are you going to training? Where am I getting you right now?
Nah, my wife, she had me pick up crabs. So I'm running around her taxi service.
There you go. Well, you got to do that. It's part of the rules when you sign up as being a husband. I have to go to the store all the time, too. I know how it is. But before we get into this, man, I saw you're going to be a dad again. You must be so excited. What's this, number 4, I think?
Yes, 4, and most likely the last one. And another girl, too. So
right.
Both girls.
What's that like, though, going into this fight? I mean, you've dealt with this before, but it must be pretty cool to have that in your mind going into this fight.
Yeah, it's by the 4th one. It's as long as the kid's healthy, my motivations are already there with the other 3. So it only adds fuel to the fire.
For sure. And this will be the first one born in Florida, right? Because all your other kids were from New York.
Correct. They were all born. This will be the first one in Florida.
There you go. That's cool. When's the due date?
January, sometime in January.
Okay, gotcha. So a little bit of time there, nothing too close to the fight. Pretty decent turnaround. We were talking about this off camera. Was this something you asked for? Did Bellator say, hey, we want to get you back in there?
My manager called me and offered it, so I take it. I wasn't really. I'm coming off a loss, so I didn't know if I wanted to jump back in or wait. But once I was offered, I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, and let's talk about that last fight, fighting a really tough guy in Sergio Pettis. I mean, all your fights are pretty much tough. You're fighting sort of the who's who. What did you take away the most from that fight against Sergio Pettis?
It's just I got a lot to work on. And that I belong with these guys, the best in the world, man. I belong to mix it up, if not beat all of them.
Yeah, and it is a killer's row right now in terms of the roster, yourself included. I don't know if you saw, they just signed Brett Johns today from the UFC. They're bringing in all these guys. Like Bellator's been on like a signing spree lately. What's that been like, just to see, because you were one of their first big signings in terms of regional prospects, and now they've really kind of built up that roster in the 135-pound division.
I love it. It's just that many more guys to mix it up with. And these dudes are elite. I'm always down to fight the best or who thinks they're the best. So it looks good for my future.
And you got a tough fight here in Leandro Higo, former LFA champion. Just a talented guy, trains with the Pitbull brothers. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Good. I think he's tough, but I think we match up very well with him.
Yeah, and what's cool about this fight, too, is he's had to overcome some adversity as well. I mean, his start to his Bellator career, he had some losses. It's kind of a good test, I think, for both of you guys in the division. Do you kind of look at it that way as well to see sort of where you guys fit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're both in, depending on our losses, we're in the same area in the division. So this will just put one of us ahead.
He hasn't fought in, I think it's a year now. He had some fights fall out. Do you think that'll impact him in the fight, or do you think it's, cage rust is not really a thing?
I think depending on the person it is, but he seems like he has a lot of fights, a lot of experience, and he trains with some killers, so I don't really see it being an issue.
But so do you, man. You're at American Top Team. Who have you had a chance to work with leading into this fight?
I've been working with Tony Gravely, a lot of sparring with him, a lot of wrestling. Other than that, just him and mixing it up with the coaches like Mike Brown and King Mo.
That's great. I know there's a lot of bantamweights there now, like Marlon Moraes. You've got Pedro Munoz. You've got Randy Costa, I think, is there now too. You get to work with any of those guys? Yeah,
my last camp I was working with Randy a lot. I mixed it up with Marlon, and Pedro. I mixed it up with both of them. But, 80% of the time I am with just Tony this fight.
Yeah, and Tony's an East Coast guy as well, not originally from Florida, so that must be kind of cool. You guys probably have that in common.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We fought back in my, regional career. And then years later, we end up training at the same place.
Yeah. And what's the vibe like at American Top Team? Because I know, obviously, they're really worried about COVID in Florida. I do see everything's opened up, though, now, which is great for you guys. But I know Dan Lambert really runs a tight ship with the COVID tests and stuff. Is that something you must feel pretty good knowing that they're really taking this seriously?
Yeah, it's cool, man. It just shows that their concern is with the fighters and that their fighters make the fight and we all make money. So, you don't want nobody coming in with Corona and ruining it for everybody.
How much of a boost was it to see Randy get that big win over Journey Newsom? He was an underdog in that fight. He went out there and finished him. I mean, as a fellow training partner, that must give you a nice boost heading into your fight.
Yeah, that looks good, man. It just shows that, we're doing the right thing training and we mix it up with the best, and then every time one of us fights, it just shows that, we are one of the best.
Weight cut, how's that going ahead of the fight?
It's going, well. I always have an easy time with it. I only cut 15 pounds, but at this point, I have it down to a science.
Now, if I remember last time, I believe your dad was in your corner, right, for your last fight?
Yes, my dad's always in my corner, and it was Mo and then my cousin. But this time it'll be Mike Brown, King Mo, and my dad. That's
great. How is it getting to work with King Mo? Because he's quite the character. I mean, does he kind of rub you guys a little bit and kind of, joke around?
Yeah, he's got a great personality, man. He's just good energy to be around. And when it comes to MMA, he has an understanding to it that most people don't have.
And you're not much of a trash talk guy, but is some of that rubbed off on you a little bit? Because Mo was the master of it back in the day, especially I remember when he fought Gegard Mousasi. He really got under his skin.
Yeah, he has a skill when it comes to talking trash. He always tries pushing on me, but that's not my style.
Yeah. No, I know. You're a straight-laced guy. You're kind of just, hey, let's fight and we'll worry about all the... I mean, you had to deal with that with James Gallagher, right? So, I mean,
Yeah, he was just like him, just like Mo, just talk and talk and talk.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. How do you see the fight playing out on the 15th? You feel like your hand's going to get raised, but how do you envision the fight playing out?
Just going to come out like always and come forward. Unlike my last fight, I'm going to let a lot of volume. I'm going to let a lot of punches and kicks go. I'm not going to sit back so much and hopefully finish him.
Now, I'm sure you want some time off after this, just with the baby coming through. Like, are you probably going to take some time off, or do you want to get one more in before the baby comes? What's the plan, assuming you come out of this healthy?
One more would be awesome, man. Get another one in when the baby comes. Before the baby comes, that'd be perfect. If not, maybe right after the baby.
And something we talked about, I think, last time, right when you moved to Florida, is obviously your girls are in school right now. Are they like doing the full on school thing, or are they doing the Zoom calls? Like how's that working?
They're still, home. My wife homeschooled them still. So my 4-year-old is just started, and then my 6-year-old's going into first grade at home
great.
with my wife.
Yeah, and that's something you've kind of managed at this point, because I know sometimes it can be tough when you have kids at home, when you're trying to, let's say get a nap in or something. I don't know, you know what I mean, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. We're used to having them around 24/7, but when you're on a schedule, work, other people, and you have things, it's hard when you want that downtime, and then you got your kid nagging on you.
Yeah. How's the adjustment been? I mean, I think it's been a year now since you moved to Florida, right? How's that been?
It's been good. It's going great. We love it. The weather's nice. It rains a little much. Met a lot of great people down here. The gym is awesome. So it went way better than I expected.
And good timing, too, because right now in New York, New Jersey, it's kind of iffy right now with all the COVID stuff, right? So you couldn't have picked a better time to leave. I know it was a year before, but still.
Yeah, all my family said that New Jersey's pretty intense with the whole COVID thing, but the lockdown and shutdown and the mask. So Florida seems to be one of the lenient states. And
what about downtime? I know you don't get much of it, but you watching any Netflix or playing any video games, anything like that during camp?
Actually, I started a TV show called Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, nice. It's an old one. It's a good one, though.
Yeah, it's older, but it has me binging it.
That's good. Yeah, any of those, I think it was HBO, right? I think any of those, old shows still live up. Like Sopranos, I don't know if you've ever seen it. That's, my favorite show ever. Have you ever watched it?
No, but my neighbor's been telling me I should have started that. If I like Boardwalk Empire, I should do The Sopranos.
You got to do Sopranos, especially a guy from you're originally from New York, New Jersey. That's what all that's about, right? Is them running
right
up
my alley,
Yeah, so that would be cool. I think you'd really like that one, and we certainly like this fight, man. October 15th, Bellator 249. I can't wait for this one, Ricky. Really appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
You can find me Ricky Bandejas on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Sponsors only Apex Sports. It's a great supplement company. Check them out. And my gym, ATT. And I just can't wait to fight. I'm looking forward to it. Leandro looks like he brings the fight. He's going to show up and hopefully make fireworks.